All right, guys, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. What's up next for us on the low, Mia?
Today we're going to be talking about the Energy Department targeting vastly cheaper batteries to help clean up the grid, because President Joe Biden is making a push for an electric grid dominated by solar and wind power.
Mm-hmm.
The initiative will focus on finding a low-cost way to store electricity generated by the sun or wind for hours, days, or even weeks at a time. Dozens of companies are working on different ideas for long-duration energy storage, but most are still too expensive to be useful. The Energy Department wants to reduce costs 90% below the cost of today's lithium-ion batteries by 2030. The agency will direct experts at its national labs to focus on improving such technologies while it seeks funding from Congress for early demonstration projects. The announcement is part of the agency's Energy Earthshots Initiative, which aims to accelerate the deployment of technologies to fight climate change. About 60% of electricity is still generated by burning fossil fuels, and the Biden administration sees curbing electricity emissions as central to its climate plans, since it is also trying to convince Americans to buy more electric cars and heat pumps that will plug into the grid.
Well, it says here, several recent studies have found that utilities could plausibly get to 80% clean electricity using today's technology.
Yes, but 80% is not 100%, and that's
right.
where the batteries needing to be expanded is coming from. In order to try and get that capture rate up and to account for days when the wind's not so great or the sun's not so great, we need better battery storage long term to reduce the costs. And this is one of the more practical problems in climate change. You know, we can't just entirely turn our grid directly over to wind and energy because of storage issues, even though the cost of generating that is starting to be on par with oil and other fossil fuels.
Well, we got a quote in this article from Jennifer Granholm, Michigan's ex-governor. She's now the energy secretary, and she's quoted to say, if we want to get to net zero emissions, we not only need to deploy solutions that are already proven, like wind and solar, we also have to figure out how to take clean energy technologies that have been demonstrated in a laboratory and scale them up in the world. That's a real sense of urgency about this. And so she announced a goal of reducing 80% of the costs on clean hydrogen fuels. Both programs are modeled after Obama-era Sunshot Initiative, which is credited with helping to lower the cost of solar power during the 2010s and ushering the technology into the mainstream. Looks like Joe Biden is counting on increasingly cheap solar and wind power to meet his goal of having the U.S. get 100% of its electric carbon free by 2035. I guess for me, the thing that no one's talking about is the resources necessary to make all this. When it comes to solar, the minerals that you have to harvest to make all these solar panels is not like it's just sitting around on the surface somewhere.
Exactly.
A lot of mining has got to go into it, which is not necessarily the greatest thing. And then you have the wind turbines where the the bearings are such high high resource dependent as well. And then there's the idea of what do we do when we recycle them when they're out of sorts, they have to be out of commission. The recycling of these things, they have no plan for it whatsoever, right?
Particularly the solar panels, those have something
specifically toxic. So we're gonna dig barrels in the middle of the earth again and dump them down there too. Like there's gotta be a better way, and there is. It's called nuclear. Guys, nuclear is the answer to bridge the gap. No one on the left wants to talk about it. Nuclear is where he should be going down to say, let's upgrade our nuclear facilities, like the one here in Michigan I live next to. I live next to two of them. I'm in the you're dead zone. I'm between two of these suckers. Nuclear is the answer, period. Especially, we need to put more research into thorium reactors as well. Once we get thorium reactors figured out, we're looking really good. We might not need so much demand on solar. These minerals is what worries me is the mineral rights, and what country we're going to go to war with to get them. You know, that's kind of my biggest fear, is this mineral demand is going to be a problem. long
I
term.
think that's where a lot of the cost for the battery storage is actually a
Yes.
problem too.
Yep. The
So if
lithium.
they're trying to reduce the cost of things down by 80%, then that's not where we're at now. Right now, nuclear is clearly definitely superior. We should be installing the nuclear things while continuing this research. Like
Right.
now,
Yep.
get moving. Climate change is coming faster than we have time to play tiddlywinks with. But on the other hand, the one thing about thorium is it's not entirely proven. It's conceptual, right? Like I don't think there's a scale thorium reactor at the moment.
No. That's the thing. We need to put more money into R&R or R&D. I mean, like
So-
Ian Prado, the thorium guy. That's what he's going to college for, guys. He's going to get his PhD in thorium nuclear reactor theory, and he's trying to figure it out. And he said they are really there. They can do it on a small scale, but trying to do it big scale. So, oh yeah. And Crystal says having something called your dead zone is kind of a turnoff for a lot of people. Yeah, it is. But here's the point. These are really, really old 1950s reactors that are have an increased likelihood of something going wrong is the older ones, right? We need to update them and get new ones, newer technology. And again, the thorium, I think, is the future because it can't be weaponized as easily. I was talking to Ian, the thorium guy, about it. He's like, it's takes so much resources. It's just not worth it. It's easier just to go mine it again, than to convert thorium over. But yeah, again, you won't hear this on mainstream media like they said here. Nuclear. I like Joe Biden's ideas, but the obvious solution is right in front of your face. Nuclear is the greenest energy with the fewest deaths, guys. People fall, people get electrocuted, right? So less deaths is nuclear. That's where I stand on this whole damn article. I love where they're at. The heart's in the right place. He's going the right direction. I just don't agree with his way he's going to implement it,
My personal opinion that the more redundancy we have in the system, the more ways we have gathering electricity, the more it's fine. Do everything, but do it. That's the thing. Be doing it right now. Don't be planning to do it. Get on it because we need this yesterday.
Yeah. And so these goals are in 2035. Okay. That is a long ways away. And guess what happens in 2035? We have other presidents by then that could just nuke the deal. Get it? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They could nuke this whole thing. Fix it today. I think it takes like 5 years to build a nuclear reactor, to build a nuclear site. Joe Biden get that done in 2 terms, right? Do something that you can do within your own time frame. Don't kick the can down the road to 2035. 2030, whatever. Enough. Get it done. Get it done now. Like we have upgraded 21st century nuclear reactor technology that's significantly safer than anything else we got, and it's 0 carbon emissions. I like what you're thinking, Joe, but think a little harder, brother. Same thing with ex-governor Granholm from Michigan. Think a little harder. And she's from Michigan. We have nuclear reactors all over the place along the lakes, So that's what I would say about this whole thing is I like where his head's at, but the real solution is nuclear.
I do have to say, like, there's a gut reaction when you say that. We've got a ton of nuclear reactors and they're right by the lakes. Oh, that's wonderful news for like our main source of fresh water for the entire world.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Thorium doesn't have any fallout. It can't melt down. The whole process can be broken with a salt water flush. Boom, it breaks the thing and restart the whole thing,
Thorium is excellent. There's no doubt in my mind that if we had that right now, we should have been, that would solve all our problems.
But we've had these reactors on Lake Michigan along our shores for 75 years. We've never had a nuclear meltdown here. And those are old ones. 21st century ones, that's what's up. Then we can really, we should shut down some of these here and put the new reactors in there. Unfortunately, getting rid of the old ones is a matter of filling it with concrete pretty much. So that's not a great solution for that type of waste product, but I don't know much more about it, honestly. I should get Ian back on here again, talk about that. But yeah, it's a great article. I like where they're going with it. It's a good goal.
there's a lot of paths that can be taken. We should be taking them all. That's the way I feel about as many of these things. Pretty much anytime there's a solution that sounds like it could work, we should be trying that solution in every direction we can. We have billions of people. We're the richest country in the world. Let's innovate instead of, like making a decision and sticking to it so hard.
Yeah.
We're
flexible.
Yeah, we've got way too many options and plenty of resources. So why are we putting it all into the military?
Yeah. And we have a billionaire, Branson, who's trying to put himself into space for a vanity project for rich people. It's not even about people. It's about rich people. $250,000 to fly into space and float and come back down. Holy shit. How about you pay your goddamn taxes?
We're talking about making space flight accessible to all humans. That'll happen eventually, in my opinion. I think it's definitely going to happen eventually when they're exploiting the labor of people and sending them to mine asteroids. Then it will be inexpensive for every human.
Yeah. It'll be a good investment in humans, as they say. Human capital in space, a whole new program.
That's when we'll suddenly see when miners are dying on asteroids, trying to get iron out of it so that they can bring it back for frickin' the Koch brothers.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about this. Are you thumbs up, thumbs down on this? What do you think about my whole nuclear pitch? Are you for or against that type of approach? Let us know in the comment section what you think about it. And of course, while you're here, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button if you've done it before, ring notification bell. You get notifications about upcoming videos like this. And thanks for joining us. See you guys next time, and go read a book.